Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and it's a reasonably mild period of weather at the moment. We're in the middle of November, so I thought I'd take the opportunity before I put them away for winter. I've still got all of my citrus outside at the moment. I thought what I'd do is just do a quick run through of the plants that I've got for anybody who's interested in citrus. I'm not sure the total quantity. I suppose I should count them up really while I'm doing the video, but I just thought I'd run through the plants that I've got, what sort of state of health they're in after summer. There's a couple of pretty rough looking ones, and some of them aren't too bad. Some are in flower and some have fruits on them, and I've got a variety of citrus that I've had for various periods of time. Obviously some are newer than others, but I thought what I'd do is just do a quick roundup video. I mean, I say quick, it'll probably take about 10 or 15 minutes as this is quite a lot of plants, but it won't be of interest to people who don't grow any citrus at all. But if you're at all interested in citrus, you might enjoy looking at some of the plants I've got and see what sort of state they're in. You can see a few behind me. I've put them on the table so they'll be easy to film. So I'll show you what plants I've got, what condition they're in, and when I'm planning to put them away. It's just a case of looking at the weather forecast for the next week or so to see if there's any really cold or wet weather coming. Because what I don't want to do is get them too I don't want to get them too soaked, saturated with water before they go away into my summer house, because otherwise it could be sitting in wet soil for a long time. So I'll pause the video now, flip it round, and we'll have a look through the citrus that I've got so you can actually see the range of varieties. Catch up with you in the second part of the video. So I'm not going to go around the plants in any specific alphabetical order or type of citrus. I'm just going to run through them in the sort of order that I put them on the table or on the ground, because it's the easiest way to do it. Now, some of the variety names may turn out to be wrong in the future, because they do have a habit of getting supplied by nurseries with the wrong labels on, or just misnamed because they've been given, when they've bought the plants, they've been told the wrong names on them, so it's nothing unusual. So we'll start with my ornamental Amalfi lemon here, which, as you can see, has got that fruit on there, and this one which is starting to change colour, so it's probably going to come off. Now when this gets into a larger plant, obviously this can produce huge lemons, which can be I think they could be 4 or 5 pounds in weight. But this small plant, which has been sort of had a problem earlier in this the beginning of the year with spider mites, it hasn't got any on now, but obviously they damaged the leaves considerably. But some of the new growth isn't looking so bad, except this one's one of the ones that's been attacked by snails while it's been outside. So that's my ornamental Amalfi lemon. Next to it is an ornamental red lime. Can be used, I think, for culinary purposes, and in fact it's now got, if I look down here, it's got quite a few small fruits that have set on it now, so we could get some fruits on it. As you can see, it's absolutely covered in flower buds again, so it's tempting to carry on flowering. Next to it is this is a calamondin orange, and I think that's the one that's known as calamansi in the Philippines, and I think they're used quite a lot for cooking in a lot of the Far East, including in Thailand as well. Got plenty of fruits on it which are just starting to change colour. Next to it I've got my kaffir lime. I don't think it's got any fruits set on it. If it has, they're very small and I can't see them, but it's still got plenty of flower buds developing on it. This larger one behind it is the one that I nearly lost last winter. This is my, let me have a look at the label because I can't remember. Plant's made a really good recovery, lost all its leaves. This is the Satsuma Unshu Mikan. It's a cold hardy Satsuma allegedly, but it didn't like the last winter at all when I left it outside. This is the first of my 2 Australian finger limes that are still alive. This one's sunshine yellow, hasn't had any flowers on it at all this year, but it's looking really strong now, so I think it's quite promising. It should get flowers next year. This one is supposed to be a key lime. Now it may well be that we can tell from the leaves, because these have a longer, narrower leaf. It's not a Tahiti lime, but it was bought as a key lime, but it doesn't say that on the label. It just says green lime, so we'll have to wait and see. Next to the key lime, we've got a variegated Eureka lemon. It has got 2 or 3 small fruits on it. It steadfastly refused to grow any new leaves this year, but I think that might partly be because it tried to grow some, and I think they're particularly popular with the snail population, because every time I look at it I found snails on it, so I've tried to keep the snails down. Next to it we've got a Chandler Pomelo, which you can see has got a fruit on it. Now this is another citrus that for some obscure reason doesn't seem too keen on putting out leaves. It's absolutely covered with flower buds yet again, and I'm actually going to put it into the summer house today, because I like to try and encourage the flowers to come out. But for whatever reason, despite all these flower buds, it does not seem to be happy to send out new leaves. Very strange. Next to it is a Tahiti lime, which is one I've had for quite a long time, and it's flowered well this year, and as you can see it has got some limes on it, so I'm quite pleased with that. It's got at least 3 limes. It looks as if they're going to get to an edible size. Behind the pomelo there is an orange, a navel orange. This one here is a Cara, and the stems come out. It's got shoots out on it here as well. Another one, as you can see from the leaves, seems to be particularly popular with the snails for whatever reason. Behind the Cara, there's a small Myers lemon, which is one I bought as a rooted cutting. Suffered from root rot, but it's recovering and coming back now, so that should be okay. So if I walk around the other side, we've got here my first kumquat. This is one I bought last winter, which had fruits on it. It has flowered. It's quite hard to get kumquats to reflower, but this one has reflowered, and it has actually got literally one or two tiny fruits on it, which I suppose is better than none. Behind it is another Australian finger lime. This one's the rose pink variety. So again, no flowers on it, but as it's looking very healthy, I'd expect some next year. Next to the kumquat, I've got my grapefruit Rio Red. This has sort of been grown as a half standard with a bare stem, and you can see it's got 2 fruit on it, and it's recently had more flowers on it and seems to have set more fruit. Next to it is my Kinoto. I always thought it was a Chinotto orange, but apparently it's a Kinoto I should say, orange. This is more for culinary purposes, and it's also known as a myrtle leaf citrus, because you can see it's got these very small leaves on it. Citrus myrtifolia. Behind that is a plant I featured a couple of times in videos recently. This is my Sanford Cura Fora citrus, covered in oranges, which form this nice sort of like ribbed. They've got this nice ribbed appearance to them. It's got loads of oranges on it, and it's got more flowers coming. Next to the Kinoto orange, there is my, I think this is my, let me see, this is my Myers Lemon Double Blood Orange cross. Has got quite a lot of fruits on it, as you can see. Probably see there as well, there's quite a few fruits on it, but it's absolutely covered in flower buds again and new growth, so that's doing very well for the middle of November. So that's my Myers Lemon Double Blood Orange cross. Moving off the table to some of my larger plants, this one here, which is producing loads of flowers and new shoots again, is a blood orange of the variety Sanguinelli. I think that's a variety if I look at my metal label. Yeah, that's Sanguinelli, that one, and that one has actually got 1 fruit on it, which set early this year, so I'm really pleased that that's still holding, so we should get a fruit. Now next to the Sanguinelli is a mandarin. has flowered but had no fruits on it. This is Oro Grande or Oro Grande. Looking reasonably healthy, a little bit of yellowing on the leaves, but I'll deal with that in the spring. I'm not too worried at this time of the year. Behind it is my grapefruit that's gone through periods of good health and bad health. It's now not looking too bad. It lost a lot of leaves. It has flowered heavily. This one is Star Ruby. It's even got a few fruits on it. I'd expect those all to fall off, but I'm not concerned about that because I want it to grow better next year. Next to the Star Ruby is another orange, and this one, if I remember rightly, is Lane's Late. Yeah, this is another navel orange. This is Lane's Late. That's got plenty of flowers on it, and again it's looking nice and healthy. Don't think any will set over winter, but again I'm not too worried about that. Next to it is a lemon of some sort. I don't know the variety name, but it's done well for me, and you can probably see it's got at least 3 lemons on it that are going to get to an edible size this winter. As I said, I don't know the variety. That was originally bought from one of the big DIY stores over here. To the other side we've got another pomelo. Well, it's meant to be a pomelo anyway. This was bought from I think this was bought from Flora Toscana, but it's not a named variety, and it's quite interesting because the fruit appears to start out as lemon shaped. You think, oh, it's a lemon, and then it does take on this more rounded shape. Now, whether or not it turns out to be a pomelo, as it's supposed to be, remains to be seen, because again I have had a lot of experience of these plants not coming with what they're meant to be. I mean, you even see it on the label, it says Citrus Maxima stroke Grandis, so you kind of think they don't even know. It's got some flowers coming on it. The flowers certainly look like pomelo flowers, that sort of size and shape of them. Next to the pomelo is the first ever citrus I got, my kumquat, which I pretty much killed. This is my first kumquat, which I pretty much killed with root rot, but had a good chance to press, and all the stems died back, but I managed to save it, and obviously it's now got plenty of shoots on it, but no sign of any flowers. Down here, this sickly looking one is actually my Swiss orange. I think it's been too wet over summer, and it's caused chlorosis because the roots are properly suffocated. But I decided that I'm going to just keep it as dry as I can in the summer house over winter, and if it survives then I'll worry about repotting it in a much better compost in spring, and if it's still alive then hopefully it'll be fine. So that's all of my citrus in pots. I will quickly show you 2 that I've got in ground because I'm growing them as an experiment. This is a Myers lemon I've got here, planted in the plant border among my other plants. It has got some small lemons on it. Excuse me. I don't expect them to get to an edible size because it's still a young plant, but at least it's now survived about 3 years in ground, and as you can see, it's decided in November to send out some flower buds again. Somewhat unusual. And my final citrus in ground, which I'm going to walk over here, which isn't looking too bad, is my yuzu. I'm going to try that as an in-ground plant. The fruits on it are small, but they are turning a sort of a yellowish colour now. I didn't expect them to get to a decent edible size because it's a very small plant, and obviously it's also in ground, but I think in time there's a chance this will produce a decent, if it survives the winters it should flower early in the spring. We should get some decent sized usable fruits on it. It is one of the hardiest citrus. So there we are, let's head back and have a look again. So as you can see, that's my whole citrus collection, everything in containers. The only one I haven't shown you is a couple of cuttings I've rooted inside, but I thought you'd be interested in those anyway, possibly. Thanks for watching the video, much appreciate it. Please give me a thumbs up, share the video if you think anyone's interested in citrus growing in the UK. Please do remember to subscribe to my channel if you're interested in anything I'm growing, and please remember to click on the bell if you'd like to get updates on these and see how they do over winter. So I'll catch up with you all soon. Brett out for now.